right, beautiful divas. This is Shay, your girl, your love diva, with another episode of Love on Command. And today we have a beautiful diva university student who is here to talk about her amazing journey. I am so pleased to introduce Mrs. Dr. J.L. Beasley. Yes, ma'am. You guys welcome her. Like, these are our invisible claps. They're all clapping for you.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
JL.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and to share about my journey.
Yes, ma'am. So talk to us and tell us, like, let's just jump into it. What were you experiencing before Diva University that had you actually say that I needed to do this? Tell us about you and what you're experiencing.
Sure. A little bit about me. So, my name is Dr. JL, and for the purpose of this conversation, you're more than welcome to refer to me as JL. I do appreciate the respect. I am a Southern girl. I'm in a southeastern state in the United States, and sometimes my country lingo comes out. And I am a mother of a teen son. And what brought me to Diva University was in 2021, was a survivor of domestic violence. I'm still a survivor of domestic violence, but I was at the time a victim of domestic violence because I had not started my healing journey yet. And the first thing that I recognized was that the uncomfortable part of looking at myself in the mirror and saying, wait a minute, you have some work to do. You are not valuing yourself. You're not respecting yourself. You're not honoring yourself. And so my biggest disappointment was not in my abuser. My biggest disappointment was in myself.
Wow. Like, first of all, I want to really dive into this, right? So here you are. Tell us what you're introduced to everybody. Like, what is it that you do for work? What's your career?
Sure. So my tagline for my businesses is that I am a mind estate and real estate investor. And so I have an empowerment business and I'm also a real estate investor.
I love that. So you're this power woman, very intelligent. You're a doctor. You help other people with empowerment. And then you find yourself where you're being abused, right? So even though you're doing all this stuff, you found that you weren't really honoring and you weren't really valuing yourself, which I find that a lot of women that are highly successful, like, people are always surprised. They're like, they put them on this pedestal, like they're not human, or like we're not human, because I've been there, right? And
Mhm.
then you even put yourself in that pedestal. That's what makes it so bad when you find yourself in an abusive relationship, because you're like, how did I get here?
Mhm.
Like, me?
Exactly. I was like, I am not the woman that's on the back of the doctor's office door that looks tattered and bruises all over. I'm not her. So I could not even name what he was doing as abuse. I would label it as, oh, he's having an adult tantrum. It wasn't until it transitioned to physical that I was like, ooh, okay, wait a minute.
This is abusive.
This is the thing.
How long did you stay being abused?
So we had a whirlwind courtship. We met, dated, quickly blended our families,
Right.
and I noticed what I tell women is that I had subconscious and conscious trade offs. There was the inner spirit saying something is off and you should pump the brakes. And then there was a part of me, because I was on the trek to age 40, that I started to get into this loop of societal expectations. What are people going to think? Here you are, the successful Black woman, but yet you don't have a man. So, like, let's check mark that off the list. So I was more laser focused on getting married again,
Right.
okay, again, and not really focused on who am I marrying.
Right. And so then you said that there was a piece that you had to look at in yourself, with you not valuing yourself. Can you talk to us about, where did this come from? What happened in childhood that led to this lack of value, or even attracting this abusive relationship?
It's a conversation I have frequently. Is Unfortunately, many young girls are raised to take care of everyone else. Be mindful of everyone else's feelings, be mindful of how you are occurring in the environment for everyone else, almost to the extent of, die to your flesh and to yourself and just make sure everyone else is accommodated and you say yes and you want to be pleasant and you want to be accessible, and the list goes on, right?
Right.
And so that's what I grew up with. And that was the mindset I had. I watched my mother do it. I still watch my mother do it
Right.
and come back with feeling exhausted and an empty cup and trying to still give from a cup that is dry, bare bones dry.
Right. So then that led you to basically putting yourself on the back burner. So you're in this abusive relationship. What was that turning point where you said, I need help? And that made you actually pull the trigger on investing in yourself and choosing D.I.V.A University.
When police had to be called, when his children had to call the police to make sure that I was okay, that was my eye-opening moment where I said, like I said, I had to look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, you
Right.
have chose the wrong man, not once, but twice. And
Right.
so it's not them, it's you. And like I said, that was very uncomfortable for me to really look at. And like you said, going back to childhood, what were those things that were missing that I did not get, that were seeds that were not sown for me to have me be empowered, to come from an
Right.
empowered in a space of, I value myself, I respect my boundaries. And so I had to really start that healing journey work, and I dived straight in. And I have no idea how I came across your content, but I started scrolling on Instagram and I came across your content. And I said, okay, this woman has something to say. Let me listen. Okay, she has another reel. Let me watch this one. But the things you were saying really spoke to my soul
Yeah.
of my value and my worth. And I started to take a little bit of those nuggets and implement them in my life. And then when the opportunity came for me to join D.I.V.A University and I did that, that was a game changer for me.
What did you notice started to change as you started doing the program? What started happening within you?
And the feedback I received before I was able to recognize it myself was that you have this glow.
Mm.
Oh, you have this glow. You seem, for someone to have gone through what you have gone through, JL, how are you shining the way that you shine? How
Right.
are you doing the things that you're doing? How are you moving forward? And so I started to say, I guess I am. It had taken me about a good 6 months to recognize it for myself, that I was able to move a little bit more confidently, to
Right.
walk a little bit more confidently with my head held high, to speak with a little bit more assertiveness, but in a feminine, respectful way.
Right. How did the way you feel about yourself start to change?
I would say the eye-opening moment for me, and we're going to keep it real because we're girlfriends chatting. One of the assignments, can I talk about assignments? Is that okay?
Sure. Don't tell them too much now.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. I'll try to tailor it. One of the assignments that involved bathroom work and mirror work. You probably know where I'm going with that. I
Yes.
thought when I listened to that module, I was like, this woman is crazy. I'm not doing that. Like, this just sounds crazy.
Yes.
So I said, you know what? If you desire to be different, at this point, you have, I tell God frequently, listen, my end age is 105. Okay. So I'm gonna live to 105.
Right.
However, I know I have more years behind me than ahead of me. And so I want these years to be grand and amazing and phenomenal. And if
Right.
you want something different, you have to do something different. And as crazy as you think it might sound, you have to do it. And I did it. And I won't deny that exercise. I still do to this day. It is a game changer. And it's the reason why I'm able to move gracefully and confidently.
I love it. It's so funny. This is what happens all the time, JL. First, when people see me, like whether it's my videos or when they do my program, they're like, she's crazy, whatever. I'm not going to listen to her. Then it's like they have that moment like, okay, well, maybe what I'm working isn't working. So maybe I should listen to it a little bit. Then it's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this actually works. Like, I'm doing it a little bit. Let me do it more. This is actually working. Oh my God. Like, okay, I'm an absolute fan. Like, it's so funny to see the progression of people having that awareness. But it's almost like the more your consciousness starts to open up and align with your higher good, the more you can hear the lessons that I'm providing and the more you're
Mhm.
able to receive it. And that's what it sounds like with you. So then you started to do the work, you started to fall in love with yourself. What else started changing when it came to your career, friendships? What else did you notice?
And so I introduced myself at the beginning as a mind estate and real estate investor. I was not doing that at the time. That became something, let me backtrack. I often would say, I am not creative. I'm
Mm.
not creative because in my mind, someone who was creative was someone that could do a floral arrangement. And I was like, that's not my thing. I don't want to put flowers together. I will buy flowers, but I don't desire to put an arrangement together. So in my mind, I said, I'm not creative.
Mhm.
However, what I was able to notice is that my creativity is different than someone else's creativity, and it doesn't make it less than or more than, it's just my creativity is different. And from there, I was sitting in a survivors support group. In my background, my main background is I'm a registered nurse.
Wow.
And I was sitting in the support group and I'm listening to the facilitator pretty much tell women that you have the scarlet letter D on your forehead. And so like life is over. You can't trust anyone anymore. You just kind of need to just be in this shell.
That's what the facilitator said?
And I was sitting there like, wait a minute, because I was equating it to healthcare. And I said, if someone had a heart attack, right, and they're on recovery, as a nurse, we're going to educate them all of the ways that you can resume a full life. It might look a little different. There might be some things you might need to be aware of, but you can still lead a full life. And here are ways to do that. So I'm sitting there like, I I teach people. I can create my own healing journey content. I know how to look at evidence-based literature and put material together. And so that's how my empowerment business started. So
Mhm.
in addition to people just reaching out to me on their own, saying, I see the things that you're posting on social media, and I want to invite you to speak here, and I want you to come speak to this group. And then I started reaching out to people, just operating from a space of confidence, authoritative confidence. And I am, Shay, reaching out to businesses as if I've created healing journey content for the past 20 years. No, I had just started like that
Right.
week.
Right.
And
Right.
companies were responding back like, yes, please, we would love to have a conversation with you and have you do sessions for this group or that group. And that's how my empowerment business started.
Wow.
Mhm,
So, are you saying that you were able, okay, so you went through the abuse, right? Lost
mhm,
yourself in going through all of that. Then you made a decision that you were going to choose you, you needed to heal you, right?
correct.
So you started doing D.V University. You started waking up to yourself. You started getting the glow. You started to heal. Then you're like, I'm not listening to all this negative stuff, being told that my life is over. I'm going to figure it out and then provide the empowerment to other women. But now, because you're stepping in your power, you're able to now transfer that power
Correct.
and share that light with other people. So not only was D.V University impactful for you, now you're literally going and changing the world as well with this light that you were able to.
Right.
That is so amazing. That gives me
I'm getting
chills.
chills. I'm getting chills telling my own. I'm like, wait a minute. I did this.
Like that
I
is
am doing
so,
it.
yes. And then how did it affect your son? How did it affect your relationship with your son?
We have the most amazing, pure relationship where we have this mutual respect for one another. Because I had to sit with him and even apologize to him that I had placed him in a situation from a space of insecurity and lack, and just dialogue about how that landed for him and what the future looks like for us as a family. And that's a big piece to anyone listening. On my healing journey, I recognized that just because there wasn't a man in the house, I didn't look at us as a family.
Right.
So having that conversation with him of apologizing and just admitting my faults. And so now I appreciate our relationship so much because, especially with him being 14, right? These are
Right.
critical years. And so
Absolutely.
we're able to have those honest, real conversations that based on the way that I was parented, that I'm from the South, like I would have been popped in the mouth. Like, oh, don't you say that or don't talk about that, or you don't
Right.
speak about those things, that he and I are able to talk and just be real with one another.
I love it. So how is your dating life? Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness, my dating life. Listen, okay, Shay, I respect you highly, but honey, I have a date at 5:45, so we're gonna
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
my dating life is amazing. And I can only state that from the program, only because of the program. And I'm not saying that because we are virtually face to face. I share your program with women frequently. I'm like, you need to follow her and invest in the program. It has changed my life seriously. And so I want to say thank you to you virtually for, following spirit and creating this program and continuing the program moving forward for women, because it's most women are not hearing this. So you're literally changing generations, you know what I mean, by just
Right.
following the
Right.
will of spirit. And
Thank
so
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And so for me, it's just been amazing because I'm able to exist in a space of confidence in front of my man. I'm able to, and the way he treats me is beyond,
Did y'all hear that?
beyond. I oftentimes sit in awe. I'm oftentimes speechless. Like, this is how I should have always dated, from this space of I am queen.
Right.
I think back to a quote from Michelle Obama when she was, I think she was being interviewed, and she was talking about how Barack asked her about how is it being with the president, and I believe she commented, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, any person I would have been with would have ended up being president.
Yes, ma'am.
Recognizing my skill set as a helpmate, as a woman, and
Yes.
the power behind that, and the things that this man and I are able and have done together. He supports my business efforts, and I am a helpmate to his business efforts. And
Yes.
the synergy between us, because I am flowing more in my feminine energy,
Yes.
which is not from a weak space, is such a powerful place to be in.
Yes. Tell us really quick, how different is the way he treats you from all the other men that you've ever dated?
From having me be a priority, considering me, I don't open any doors.
Mm,
I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to invest in anything. I remember going on dates in my past thinking with the mindset of, okay, well, he paid for that date, so I should pay for the next date. Or he mentioned this financial struggle, so I should probably be considerate and pay for XYZ. And
right.
that's not even because he shows up as a provider, as a protector,
Yes.
a leader.
Yes.
It's amazing to be in a situation where he's reaching out to me to simply ask, what is your availability? I share that, and then he has a whole itinerary of what the date is going to look like, what he would love to see me in, and I show up and I be cute, and that's
Yes,
how it is. I'm
ma'am.
like, yes,
So
thank
did
you
y'all
for
move
today's
from dating
program.
to being official? Are y'all in an official relationship?
We are in an official relationship, and the part that I am so thankful for, because I met him at a critical moment on my healing journey.
Yes.
He observed where I was and has allowed me to slowly grow into where we are now. There was no pushing, there was no, well, let me judge you or condemn you. He's just allowed me to be. And that has been such a beautiful, beautiful, blessed experience. And I laugh now because I have been places with groups of women,
Yes.
and I'll step back and they'll go, why did you step back? And I'm like, oh, because I don't open doors. But wait a minute, we're all together.
I know, I do the same thing. It's like I forget. When I'm in my girlfriend's car and I just sit there waiting for the door to be open, and she's just standing out there. I'm like, oh shoot, wait a minute. I'm not
Let
leaving.
myself out.
Right. I guess I gotta open my own door at this point. You get so used to the queen treatment. Let me ask you this: if you could do it again, would you? Do you think the investment was worth it?
If I and I plan to rejoin, if I did it again, I would do it again 100 times over, which is why I share it with so many women, your page, encouraging them to join. When women ask, how did you get where you are? I credit the program, because I say to them, I said, there's no way. I mean, I'm grateful for, me recognizing I needed to focus on me. I'm grateful for whatever I searched for on the Facebook, Instagram algorithm that started pulling up your content. I don't know what that was, but I just remember starting to see some of your content and thinking, that's an interesting perspective. I never heard it phrased that way. Well, let me listen to more. So I'm just grateful. And the amount of the other key piece for anyone listening is to date yourself. You
Mm,
cannot be an interesting person if you're not leading your own interesting life. So take yourself out. If there's a movie you want to go see that movie. If you want to go out to a restaurant, go out to that restaurant. If you want to wear lingerie for yourself, go. Like, how can you wear it for someone else if you don't know how you feel and how you
that
can
part.
be in it
That
for you?
part.
There's times when my son is with his father, I'll put on something cute, put on my shea butter, and sit on the couch in my favorite blanket in a negligee.
Wait, you don't do that to yourself, honey. You just be turning your own self on. That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm gonna watch my own Netflix and chill by myself.
Right,
And
looking sexy.
there are times that I am out to eat by myself and I want to be by myself. I'm excited to be by myself. And
Right.
because of the glow and the energy that's around me, people will join my table. Oh, we were just watching you from afar. We were like, oh, we want some of that. We want to sit with you. And I'm like,
It's like all that feminine energy, you become a magnet.
yes.
You become a magnet, you draw people in. But then there's a boundary. It's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm on a date with myself. Me and myself is having a date. But
Me and
I so
myself and I.
appreciate you. Now, as we close this up, if you could say anything to a woman who's watching you, who's inspired by you, but she's on the line. First of all, she's like, how do I know it's gonna work for me? Right? And maybe I should just keep watching some free YouTube and TikTok videos. Like, what would you tell her on why this journey would be good for herself?
What I would say to any woman that is on the fence is, if let's think about a vehicle that you've always wanted, and
Mm,
whatever that vehicle is. And most people, for me, it's a Maserati. And so when I'm on the journey to my Maserati, it's coming. And
right.
when I receive this Maserati, I'm going to want to understand how to work all of the bells and whistles of this Maserati. And it's going to require premium gas. And so I am going to fill it with premium gas. I'm going to be confident in it. It's my dream vehicle, right? And so you are already that. We were already created as women as that luxury high end vehicle. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure you're putting the premium gas inside of you. You're taking it to the actual dealership that services that car with trained professionals. And so Shay is that trained professional for our premium luxury vehicle. And the content is the gas. And so invest in yourself. That's the number one return on investment, is to invest in yourself. There's so much more that's going to come out of it. And yes, we were conditioned to put the oxygen on other people. And unfortunately, the airline industry had to be the one to remind us every flight, before you help someone else, person, please put the
Right.
oxygen on you first.
That
And
part.
that's a daily lesson. You cannot give from an empty plate. You have to make sure your cup is full, and
Mm,
then you give from abundance, from overflow. And so
yes,
that's the
ma'am.
message that I would leave for women listening, is to just invest in yourself. You can never go wrong.
You are amazing guest.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you joined us. Make sure you send us a picture of you with your boo, okay?
Oh, listen,
Uh,
I sure will.
we need all the things, okay? We need all the things. And your story excites me so much. I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Thank you.
proud of you for even in the midst of the darkness, finding the crack to reach up and choose yourself. I'm so proud of you for doing the work. I'm so proud of your growth. And I'm so proud to see the difference that you're making in the lives of so many other women. So thank you for allowing me to be part of that journey. And beautiful divas, this has been another episode of Love on Command with the amazing Dr. JL Beasley. Make sure you guys check her out. What did you say? Real estate mind and real estate. What is it? Say it
Yes,
again.
mind estate and real estate investor.
Yes, ma'am. Mind estate and real estate investors. Make sure you guys check her out. And ladies, just remember that at the end of the day, nobody determines your value like you can. You can't walk into a store and then say, oh, this is going to be the price. Okay. Nobody, but the store owner can determine that price. However, if you treat yourself like you're worth nothing, then that's what anybody who comes into your store is going to treat you. When you recognize that you are the prize and you always have been the prize, and you rise up as the prize that you are, then the right person who's destined to be blessed with your presence will claim you as the prize you've always been. I love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. And I will see you again next Tuesday. Bye, divas.